forgot how fast that goes.
Vance from Vbd-Retail here, and today we are talking about 3 different 9mm suppressors that B&T currently offers. We've got the SQD M9, we have the MP9 suppressor, and the Vbd-Retail. Now, why compare these? Why see what's different? Well, they've all got their own little quirks, different things about them, and this is the first time that we've actually seen everything in hub. So previously, the MP9 suppressor could only be used really on an MP9. There was a weird adapter that sometimes came out there, but in general, you were pretty much stuck with what you have. So we decided to take these 3 things, toss them on various guns like our MP9, we threw it on an APC9, and of course, because popular demand, we've got the MP5. Starting off, we have the Sqd M9 suppressor. Now, you're asking what that stands for. The SQD is actually the hub it comes with. We opted to use an RQD mount. If you're curious of what the SQD is, we do have a previous video that kind of goes over it. The SQD just pops right onto Trilog. There's a button, click it on, click it off, take it off that way. We use this RQD mount because, well, we've never really used one before, so we wanted to try it. But that's not exactly important to the actual function of the suppressor. So this suppressor itself, you have in a full-length configuration. You can also take it apart and put it into a shortened length configuration. And if you notice, the difference between this is about either end of the MP9 suppressor, where the shortened version is shorter than the MP9 suppressor, but when you go to the full length, it's slightly longer. So think of this as long, short, and then the MP9 being medium. So in its full configuration, we're looking at 13.9 ounces complete. And then if you want to take that end off and run it in the short configuration, you're at 8.5 ounces. Now, that doesn't include your hub weight, but in a world of hub, there's so many different options that you can put on there. So the base suppressor itself, titanium, modular, it can be flow, it can be sealed. Probably get in trouble for saying flow there. It can be reduced back pressure. And, well, let's see how it stacks up against the rest. Next, we had the MP9 TP9 suppressor, which comes with the MP9 TP9 hub. Now this, I can say, while I don't know exactly what's going on the inner guts of this, I believe it's essentially the same suppressor as the Sqd-M, but that's obviously modular. What you get here is what you get. It's just a set size. You can't change it from reduced pressure to sealed. It's just, this is it. But its weight comes in at 10.4 ounces for the body, all titanium, and now you can buy this suppressor. You can take this hub and move it around on different things. We did toss this onto an 11.5 inch 5.56 just because I was curious. Safety squints, everyone. I think it survived. I think it's actually worked pretty well. We probably shouldn't do that a lot, but it can handle it. It held up to the limited amount of shots that we took. Now, I probably should have mag dumped to really see where it's at, but this thing is not designed for other calibers, and I really didn't want to break it because, well, I don't want to have to buy another one. So, just putting that out there, durability is nothing in question, because how many 9mm suppressors do you know that you can just throw on an 11.5 inch AR and actually shoot? Finally, we got the Vbd-Retail. Now, we have another video about this Vbd-Retail, but I've never really compared it to these other 2 suppressors. If you aren't familiar with the Vbd-Retail, it is a completely modular suppressor. It is versatile, probably part of why its name is Vbd-Retail. If you can fit it in one of these end caps and down the bore, you can shoot it. So while we tested it with 9mm and using the 9mm end cap, this thing is made to handle 338 Lapua, 300 Win Mag, 308, 6.5, 5.56. If it fits, it ships. So the base weight of this suppressor that we tested is going to be 11.3 ounces. And if you want to put it in its short configuration, I'll toss an end cap on here just to make it correct. You're at 7.3 ounces. So extremely lightweight, extremely versatile. But how does that versatility stack up against something that's dedicated? They all perform the same across all three platforms. So it seems like whatever platform that you use, it's not like one's going to perform better than another on one gun versus a different gun. But I want to start this out by saying with subsonic ammo, even the shortest configuration possible was comfortable with your hearing. So if sound really, really matters to you, buy that subsonic ammo because, one, that's going to help tremendously. And then two, no matter what you choose and whatever fits whatever you're looking for, you should have some confidence in being able to know that you could shoot that without ear pro on and not start ringing your ears. Let's get into rankings. I had myself, obviously, behind the gun, and I had two people out there to help me.
God, it tastes so sweet.
So they had an idea, and they could debate against what sounded better as somebody standing by. And our winner for the quietest configuration is going to be the longest and sealed, and that is the Sqd-M with the sealed end cap. I do want to note there is a little difference between the sealed and vented as the shooter. As the one actually behind the gun, the vented end caps sounded quieter than the sealed end caps. I'm just assuming that's because we're holding in a little more gas and a little more is coming back out of the ejection port towards you, creating some of that sound. So as the shooter, while the sealed end cap seems louder as anybody standing around next to it, there is a noticeable difference that is going to improve that sound quality. Next is going to be the vented full-size length. Why? Well, these are pretty much the same baffle design inside of here, so getting that little bit of extra length is going to give you that increased performance. Then we have the MP9 suppressor coming in third. Now that this has served its purpose, what we are getting into is the remainder, which is going to be the sealed and vented Sqd M9 RBS. And then we're going into the shortened version of the Verse 36. Now, you might be asking yourself, what suppressor is for me and why would I choose a variety of these? So, the Sqd-M is if you just want dedicated and you can't make up your mind. You can pop this thing into the full length conversion, you can make it the short length, you can seal it, you can vent it. You just want 9mm and all the options, and that's what that package comes in. Next, you've got the TP9 RBS Suppressor, which is a very interesting little package we got going here. So, you just want a quiet 9mm suppressor. It's lightweight. You're not going to mess with the modularity. You just want to throw it on and you want to run with it. It's also about $200 cheaper than both of these other two options and comes with the impossible to get TP9 MP9 hub. Now, you may be saying, I don't have a TP9 or an MP9, and that's okay because plenty of people do. And like I said, these hubs are very impossible to get. I'm not saying that you should do this. I'm just saying that if you pick these up for around $800 and then this hub went for around $300, what you got yourself is a base suppressor for $500, and then you can throw on any kind of mount you want. If you want to get an RQD, an SQD, some other various companies design, direct thread, whatever, that leaves you with a little bit of room to change up the mounting option, and it's going to save you cash on the overall design because you don't want to change lengths. You don't care about if it's sealed. You just want a good solid suppressor. And last, we got the Verse 36. This is the do-it-all-can. This is the jack-of-all-trades. This thing, you can run whatever the heck you want through it. And this is for that person who enjoys the modularity and the fact that they can move this onto anything. I wouldn't be running 308 through any of these or other calibers. Whereas this Verse 36, I don't care. and know that it can handle it. And you still get that modularity inside the suppressor for long and short. So you've got a lot more options with this thing. You can put this on whatever the heck that you own that will fit right through the bore of that. Sound-wise, I still think it's great. I'm still going to continue to use this thing just because of its versatility and the fact that it's still a really good suppressor. It's just getting squeezed out by complete dedicated cans. But 9mm 308, this thing sounds like it's at home. And if we were to compare this to maybe some other brands, you might find that this could perform better than some of the suppressors that you already like and think perform really well. So it's always hard to compare things like this all against each other because, well, there's tons and tons of options and we can't just get them all at once. To reiterate, before we close this on out, the Sqd-M is if you want all of your bases covered for 9mm. The MP9 TP9, really just the RBS base suppressor itself, if you know what you want and you just want a solid 9mm can, you don't care if it's a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, you just want it at that perfect size for sound suppression. And the Verse 36 is if you need a suppressor that you can put on whatever the heck you want. Thank you guys for watching. Quick little video rundown over this stuff. We appreciate your support. Hop in the comments, tell us what we did right, what we did wrong, and stay tuned for whatever we got coming up next. Yeah, click that share button. It helps us out a lot. If not, follow our Instagram, check out our site, and we'll find something new to go over. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you next time.